Good morning, leading into good afternoon. My name is Espi, and welcome to the Greater Palm Harbor YMCA, and this is yoga today. So we'll start out standing towards the front of our mat and really just ground into our feet. We want to work into mountain pose. First half of class, we'll do a lot of standing work, and then the second half will come down to the mat. So thank you for coming out today for this part of your day. So if you take a look down at your feet, right, you want the toes to be in a parallel, or the feet to be in a parallel position, and your feet can be about hip distance if you like your feet a little bit closer together or apart. It's really up to us what feels most balanced. And then maybe shift a little bit of the weight into the toes, and then shift a little bit of the weight into the heels. So we're kind of rocking forward and back. And what we're looking for is an equalness of footing, right? So we're not putting all the pressure in the front of the foot or the back, but we're equally distributing the weight. Once we've found that equalness, let's start to work up through the body. So a little bit of softness in the knees, but really think of engaging the quadricep muscles. The thigh muscles are drawing up towards the pelvis. The abdominal muscles are drawing up and in. The upper back muscles are relaxing down and towards the hips. And then finally, draw the chin down and slightly in. So we've got the ears directly over the shoulders. And if we can have the arms down by the sides of the palms facing forward, that's where we want to place the arms. Good. As we stand here in mountain pose, see if you can lift all 10 toes off the floor. Just notice if your body shifts a bit, or can you really connect to those 4 points of the feet? So one at the base of the big toe, one at the base of the little toe, and then there's kind of 2 low points at the back of the heel, or you might consider it one, and then release the toes back down. From here, let's close the eyes and see how the body responds when we turn the gaze inward into our mountain pose. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose, and a deep breath out through the nose. Notice how on the inhale, the body may rise and expand, and on the exhale, it may settle down and draw inwards. So think of the breath as drawing open the body and lengthening, and maybe even broadening the body. And as we exhale, drawing it all in. So we can start to feel the activation, the connection of our abdominal muscles to the breath. We'll continue to breathe in through the nose and back out. As we continue to breathe in through the nose and back out, take one fingertip at a time and touch the thumbs. So just starting to create some gentle movements into our fingers and into our hands. The goal of class is to move all of our joints, move our spine front to back, side to side, and rotate it. So we're really working through the flexibility of our spine and our muscles. And then relax the hands. Rotate the wrists a few times in one direction. And then pause and switch directions. And then relax the hands. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. So bigger movement for the upper body. Notice the difference from right shoulder to left shoulder. Maybe you feel like you've got more range of motion on one side than the other. Maybe one shoulder feel a little tighter. And then relax the arms back down. Gently lower one ear to one shoulder. And just move at the range of motion that feels best for the head and neck. And then draw the head back to center, back to our mountain pose, and up and over to the other side. And again, notice the difference from that stretch from one side of the neck to the other. And then come back to the center. As we gently lower the chin towards the chest, just start to blink the eyes open so we're looking down at the floor. And then turn the gaze back center, and then maybe gently look up, so extend the head and neck, just to a point where it feels comfortable, and then come back to the center. Let's take a deep breath in and reach the arms up. And as we exhale, draw the hands to the heart center, and then we'll reverse that breath. Inhale, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, lengthen back out. So now connecting breath and movement, see how the upper body feels, see how the arms, the shoulders, the chest, the upper back, and connect the breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Another big stretch up towards the sky, draw the hands to the heart center. And then this time reach up nice and tall. And as we exhale, bring the arms down by the sides, palms facing forward. See if we can reach the arms back as far as we can. So open up across the chest and the shoulders. Then the palms may turn towards one another. See if you can touch the fingertips or even interlace the hands together and create a deeper chest expansion. Just breathe in through the nose. And as we exhale, just release the arms back down. Take the right arm, reach the arm up towards the sky, look up, take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, release back down. So feel the stretch from the hips all the way up to the fingertips. So we're starting to move the spine laterally from side to side. This isn't necessarily a big movement, but you can really feel the stretch on the sides of the body. Breathing in and breathing out. Just do that one more time on each side, lengthening up and releasing back out. Final time on the left, breathe in and breathe out. Good. Let's start to move through the lower body. So take a deep breath in. As we exhale, draw the hands to heart center. Let's come into chair pose. So imagine we're sitting back in a chair. You're going to draw your stomach muscles in, press the hips back. You should still be able to see the toes, right? So the knees are going to come slightly forward of the ankles, but it's really about getting our hips to push back. Then draw the hands to the top of the shins. Inhale the crown of the head forward. Pull the shoulder blades down. Tuck the chin in. So we're coming into a halfway lift. And as we exhale, put soften the knees and fold over. So we're letting the head be heavy. You should be able to just kind of let it shake side to side. There shouldn't be a lot of tension. Really bend the knees here if we need to, right? If you're feeling a little tight through the back of the body. Now pull the stomach muscles in. Bend the knees a little bit. Push the hips back. And inhale, rise all the way up, using our legs and using our core. And then exhale, hands back to the heart center. Add on to that, take a deep breath in. This time as you exhale, let the arms float out in front into chair pose. So shoulders, elbows, and wrists are about the same height. Pull the shoulder blades down. Again, connect with the stomach, and can you keep breathing in and out, push the hips back. The knees should feel safe here. They should be tracking in alignment with the toes. Then again, rest the hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folding over. And let the head be heavy. Soften the knees, and again, inhale, rise up towards the sky. Exhale, draw the hands to heart center. So going into the full chair, as we inhale up, the arms now stay up towards the sky as we settle into the hips. So this creates more work in the upper body as well as the lower body. And then inhale, hands come to our shins, and exhale, folding over, belly to spine. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, let's rise up again, and breathe in and breathe out, hands coming to the heart center. Working down into our feet, we're going to lift the right heel, right? And then set the right heel down with the left heel. So you can do one at a time, start to work through the ankle mobility, or you can start to prance, right? Or pedal back and forth. So as one starts to lift and lower, the other kind of meets on the halfway point. So we're starting to work into the flexibility of the toes and the ankles. Next time, keep your right heel lifted. So we're going to shift most of the weight into the left leg. You can really just come up onto the big toe, or you can float the right knee up in the air. Think of drawing the stomach muscles in, shoulders are down and back. Now, point the toe out in front, point it out to the side, and point it behind. So a 3-point touch right here. We're starting to come into the hips. So if you want, you can always tap the toe down, or you could trace a circle on the floor, or you could trace a circle in the air and start to add more of the single leg balance. But focus on that right leg, moving the hip, right? Or the hips moving the leg, really, when you think about it. And then come forward, out to the side and back. Next time, come forward, tap the toe, and then flex the heel, plant the heel on the floor. Or keep the leg lifted, point and flex, and work through the ankle. Could you roll the ankle a few times in one direction? And then pause and switch directions. We're looking for a lot of mobility into our ankles. Good. And then slowly release the foot back down. Lift the left heel. All right. And again, maybe barely come up onto that left toe, or lift the left knee. And start to see, where is the balance? How are we on the other leg? Then tap the toe out in front, out to the side, and behind. Notice the difference with not only the balance, but the range of motion of the leg that's moving. Does this leg maybe feel a little more stiff? Again, you can float it in the air or trace it on the floor. So choose, especially at the beginning of class here, balance, what's gonna work best for us. Do that one more time, full swing back, and then tap the toe in front and flex the heel. You can keep the toe and heel on the floor or lift it up, point and flex. And then again, roll through the ankle a few times. Really be, in a sense, kind of dramatic with that roll and switch directions. How big can you make that movement in your foot and ankle? Good. And then slowly release the foot back down. Take a deep breath in, reach up towards the sky. And as we exhale, find our chair that works best for us. So hands can be at the heart center, up in front, or overhead. Now draw the hands to the heart center. Let's do a little bit of rotation. So we're gonna look towards the parking lot, look to our right, and just turn the torso. Watch this opposite knee. This opposite knee is gonna wanna try, the left knee is gonna wanna try and come forward. Really rotate through the torso. Then inhale back to the center into chair, and then exhale, go to the left. And just notice the difference. Try to keep your spine long, push your hips back. And then inhale back to the center, and as you exhale, just fold over. Let the head be heavy. Good. Take a deep breath in, soften the knees. Inhale, rise up all the way towards the sky, and exhale, draw the hands to the heart center. So we're gonna lift our right heel and step back maybe about 2 or 3 feet and plant the right heel. So each leg has its own railroad track. We're in a very kind of narrow or shallow lunge. You'll feel a stretch into that back calf muscle. Lift up onto the toes of the right foot and lower the right heel back down. Again, lifting up and lowering back down. This time, keep the heel lifted. Can you lift the front heel as well? So we're like walking on our tippy toes right here, balancing. And feel all the work coming up through the legs into the stomach. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, slowly release the heels and step back to mountain pose. Lift the left heel, again, step back about 2 to 3 feet, plant the heel. So give a good stretch into the calf muscle. Then lift the back heel, lower the back heel. Do that a few times just to initiate the work. Now this time, keep the back heel lifted, lift the front heel. Notice the difference in balance. Do we maybe have more of a dominant side? Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and slowly release and step back forward. So let's move into some of our standing strength. We're gonna come into warrior one. You're gonna externally rotate the hip, right? So your toes maybe turn out about 45 degrees. And you just start stepping the leg back. You can step back a little, you can step back a lot. It's a supported lunge, so both feet are down. The left knee is gonna bend between the second and third toe, and you're gonna square the hips and shoulders towards the front of the room. And the back leg is very active as well. Then we reach the arms up towards the sky and maybe turn the gaze up. Draw the shoulders down and away from the ears. Now think about creating a lot of space between the ribs and the hips, right? So if you want to, even sometimes just helping to manually lift through there. And can you maybe lunge a little deeper? So just lowering the hips down without compensating through that front knee. And keep pressing into the outer edge of the back foot. Now draw the hands to the heart center. Keep the abdominal muscles engaged and just lean the torso forward. Keep your spine long, shoulders on the back. Draw the chin down and in. If you'd like more, you could reach the arms out to the side or even reach the arms overhead. Draw the shoulders down and away. Good. And then from here, lift the torso, come back up, looking up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, step to mountain pose. Externally rotate the left leg, and you're trying the same thing. You're also trying to get the same stride. So sometimes in your mat, you can see an imprint, and that's helpful. You want to try and have the same length. Again, we're trying to square the torso forward, right knee tracks between the second and third toe. Engage through the center of the body as well as the back side, and reach up towards the sky. Now, as we lengthen the arms up towards the sky, if you feel like there's a lot of tension going on, you may choose to bring the hands down, but also think about your upper back muscles are really contracting. So even though the arms are lifting, the shoulder blades are pulling down. And then draw the hands to the heart center. Let's hinge forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, now there's more work going into this front leg. Open the arms out or open the arms overhead. And we can always keep the hands at the heart center as well. And breathe in through the nose and back out. Take another deep breath in, and as we exhale, come back up. Nice and tall. Take another deep breath in, and as we exhale, step to mountain pose. From mountain pose, let's go back to the feet, go back to the balance. So you're gonna stay in mountain pose, but as we change where the feet are, it's more of a challenge. So see if you can lift your heels just a little bit off of the floor. So now we're shifting the weight more into the toes. But if we keep activating the legs and the glutes and the abs and the upper back and keep the ears over the shoulders, we should be able to maintain this balance. And then slowly release the heels back down. So take a deep breath in and lift up again. And as you exhale, maybe go a little bit higher. You really get into the top of your feet. Really work into those toes. And then slowly come back down. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in and lift up. Exhale, try to lift a little higher. Now once you're up here, could you float your arms up towards the sky? And then as the arms slowly come down, slowly release through the heels. Good. So we're gonna work into our lunge now. You can repeat warrior one if the lunge doesn't feel very balanced, but you're gonna lift your right heel. Remember, we stepped back about 2 or 3 feet and did more of that shorter lunge. Could you step back a little bit longer? So the front knee is over or behind the ankle, shoulders are over the hips. And you're actually trying to lengthen the back leg. So the back knee doesn't have a lot of bend in it. So you might really feel that stretch into that hip flexor. Then the goal is to lower the hips down, right? Soften that front knee. Again, your option is to set the back foot down and repeat warrior one if this maybe feels a little uncomfortable or just the balance is feeling a little off. Then adding the arms, reaching up towards the sky. Draw the shoulders down away, breathe in through the nose and back out. And relax the shoulders away from the ears. Think again of space between the ears and the shoulders, but space between the ribs and the hips. All the muscles in the center of the body are really supporting the spine. From here, draw the hands to the heart center. Again, hinge forward. Maybe this time reach the arms back. Could you interlace the hands and open up the chest? Now, think about this. You're not bringing your chest to your knee. You're kind of hinging your torso forward. So you're going to lunge deeper. And maybe that's where the chest may be closer to the knee. Think about hips are lowering your chest now, not your chest lowering towards your knee. Then use the strength of that front leg to press yourself back up. Reach up towards the sky, take a deep breath in. And as we exhale, big step to mountain pose. Going for lunge on the other side, lift the left heel. Again, little steps, right? To get yourself back there, you just kind of inch back and find the balance, find the length that works best for us. Square hips, back heel is lifted, back leg is lengthening, and then lower down into the hips. Again, we're looking for maybe a 90 degree in that front leg, but it's not necessary. And then engage and reach the arms up, maybe the gaze goes up. Notice the difference between the strength and the flexibility between the right and the left side. It's not always the strength that gets us in the standing poses. It can be the flexibility coming from the hips. And take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. Draw the hands to the heart center, hinge forward. Now remember, reach the arms back. Maybe again, interlace the hands. Maybe we can open up the heart. If you're gonna go deeper, it's into the legs. So the leg lunges and the upper torso lowers because of the leg and the hip. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, press back up or reach the arms up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, step forward to mountain pose. Inhale, reaching up towards the sky. As we exhale, let's find chair pose. And our hips should be getting warmer now. Can we reach the arms up towards the sky? And breathe in and breathe out. Now, inhale, bring the hands to the shins, halfway lift, and as we exhale, fold over. So the hips will get warmer. So from here, let's take the right leg and lunge back as far as we can and set the right knee down on the floor and relax the toes. So if you need a little extra padding for the knee, you can place it under there. We're not here that long. See if your right hand can come to the floor and your left hand to the thigh. Let's add a little rotation, all right? If you'd like, maybe the left arm can reach up towards the sky. And if you'd like even more, you're gonna tuck your right toes under and lift the knee off. You're going to come into a twisting low lunge. So we're working into the hips. Then turn back to the center and step your right foot forward, back into your forward fold. Let the head be heavy. And now let's repeat that to the left side. So the left leg steps back, the left knee comes down. left hand to the floor, right hand to the thigh, and look over to the right. Again, maybe the right arm can reach up, tuck the back toe under, and then lift the back knee if you choose to, going into that full kneeling lunge with a twist or full lunge with a twist. Take a deep breath in as you exhale, turn back to the center. Another inhale in, and as we exhale, step the feet back to mountain pose. From here, maybe separate the feet a little bit wider. If it feels okay, could you cup your elbows and let your torso just hang and feel that release happening into mid and upper back. Draw the stomach muscles in, breathe in and breathe out. Good, soften the knees, and then we're gonna slowly rise up. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, draw the hands to the center. So we're gonna turn to the side, and you're gonna step out just a little bit wider. So I'm gonna have you guys do it that way. Since there is video going on, I'm gonna turn so they can see what's going on. All right, so you're gonna step your feet out wider, turn the toes out. All right, so a wider kind of squat position. You're gonna float your arms up. Make sure that your hips, knees, and toes are in alignment. And you're gonna soften the knees and just lower your hips down. So coming into what we call a goddess pose right here. Inhale, straighten out the arms and the legs, and then exhale, lower back down. Good, rising up, good, and lowering down. Let's do that one more time. The next time we're gonna hold down. We're gonna just hold in this position, breathe in and breathe out. So feel, there's gonna be a lot of flexibility through the hips to come into this, and a lot of strength through the legs as well. And then slowly rise back up and let the arms release. Turn both toes or legs forward, so you're in a wide forward fold position. So your hands come to your hips, and from here, we're gonna take a little bow, come forward and let the hands come to the thighs, draw the stomach muscles in, or draw the hands to the shins. If it feels okay, bring the hands down to the floor and let the head be heavy. And breathe in through the nose and back out. So again, just letting your head just release here. It's great traction for the head and neck. We carry a lot of tension in the head and neck. Now soften the knees and then slowly rise back up. So we're gonna move into warrior two. You're gonna open up your right toes towards the front of the room. All right, if you need to, right, you could heel toe a little bit wider because you're gonna bend the right knee between the second and third toe, pushing into the outer edge of that left foot, and then reach the arms out and look over the right arm. So breathing in and breathing out. Now, just like with the lunge, right, we're looking for 90 degrees. So if you can see yourself in the mirror, could you take your left leg maybe a little bit wider, and could you go down a little bit deeper? Well, that's going to depend on the flexibility from the hips. Watch your upper body as well. We want the shoulders over the hips, really engaging into the stomach, but we should feel the legs and the glutes doing a lot of work. Now let's go back to that breathing. Inhale, reach up, straighten out the right leg. Exhale, come back into warrior two. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, lower down. Do that one more time. Breathing in, so we're warming up the joints, and breathing out and holding right here. We're gonna reach our torso over the right leg. So reach towards the front of the room and let the right elbow rest to the thigh. Left hand comes to the hip. Draw the shoulders down away and can we look up towards the sky. If it feels okay, the left arm is gonna reach up towards the sky, or it may even reach overhead. Now think about, there's a lot of opportunity here to cheat a little bit, right? To push the hips back. Try to keep the hips down and make that right leg really have to work. Now take a deep breath in as you exhale, stay in warrior, but reach the right arm up and reverse the warrior. Keep the knee back, keep in that side lunge, and feel the work into the right leg. Take another deep breath in, and as we exhale, come back to warrior two. We're gonna move into triangle, lengthen the right leg. And again, if you need to bring the feet a little bit closer, that feels safer, that's great. Avoid locking the knee, but you want to feel that right quadricep muscle tighten up a bit. And then, again, we move the torso over the leg as far as we can. Right hand comes to the shin, left arm floats up towards the sky. And breathe in through the nose and back out. Think about elongating through the rib cage, All right, so there's space between the ribs and the hips. There's a lot of activation going on through the center of the body. And then we can feel that great stretch on the back of the right leg and the outside of the left hip. And then reverse it. Keep the legs long, but float the right arm up. Do a nice little counter side bend. Breathe in. And as we breathe out, slowly releasing. Turn the right foot back towards the front or towards the side, and then you'll turn the left leg out. So turn the palms down, soften the left knee between the second and third toe. And again, adjust. You want that left heel to draw a straight line to the arch of the left or the right foot. And then let's work into the breath. Inhale, straighten out the left leg, rise up. Exhale, soften the left knee, lower down. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, lowering down. One more time, breathing in and breathing out. Good. So again, adjust the upper torso, shoulders over the hips. Can we go a little deeper into the lunge? And then from here, we reach over the left leg as far as we can, elbow gently rest. Right hand to the hip first. And open up the right shoulder, maybe look up towards the sky, draw the chin down and in. And then maybe the arm can reach up. Maybe we like it to extend over. You really feel that great side body stretch. But don't lose the lower body. Really stay in the legs here. And breathe in through the nose and back up. So feel the power, feel the strength on the left leg. Keep that bend in the left knee and reach left arm up towards the sky. And breathe in through the nose and back out. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Good. Come back to warrior two, and then we find triangle, lengthen the left leg. All right, again, create a lot of space into the upper body. Create some activity into that left quadricep as we float over the left leg as far as we can, and then let the left hand just gently rest on the shin as the right arm reaches and lengthens up towards the sky. And again, if it feels better for the head or neck to look down or out, we can do that, but see if you can glance up. That also challenges the balance. Breathe in through the nose, back out. Plus, we're really working on that range of motion of our head and neck. We should be able to turn easily the head and neck right to left. And then from here, slowly float the left arm up and back. Take a deep breath in and take a deep breath out. Good. And then slowly come back. And let's go back to that wide forward fold position. Now your legs may have gotten a little wider through this. If you want to bring them back in, you can. Hands come to the hips and then take a nice bow again. And the hands again, go to where it feels best for us. If it feels good to bring the hands down to the floor, come down to the floor. Let the head be heavy. Just shake the head, maybe yes and no. Maybe just kind of move it around a bit. And breathe in through the nose and back out. Now slowly rise up. If you can get your hands down to the floor, or if it's a little difficult to get the hands off the floor, bend the knees. Let's take the right hand to the center, underneath kind of our face, underneath our shoulder, and bring the left hand to the small of the back. So you're going to rotate and look to the left. And then you're going to reach the left arm up towards the sky. So we're giving a nice rotation. Now this low back region should really stay anchored. The rotation's happening through the chest and the shoulders and the head and neck. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out and just slowly release. Take the opposite hand down to the floor. We reverse. Again, bring the hand to the small of the back and then turn the other direction. Again, you can keep the hand there. You can open up through the chest and shoulder. Maybe we can lengthen the arm up. That's a big rotation across that mid and upper back region. Plus, you're probably feeling that through the inner thighs and the hamstrings. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, fold over. Let the head be heavy. Soften the knees, soften the arms. Heel toe the feet in a couple inches, but then turn the heels in, toes out. And just bring the hands to, or the elbows to the thighs. You're kind of in that mid-lower squat position right here. Kind of that high baseball catcher. Really engage the abdominals, draw the shoulders on the back. Try to lift your chest. So your hips are down, your chest is up. And then use the strength of the legs to stand back up. Good. And then shake out the legs. Good. From here, let's come back toward the top of the mat, facing the front of the row. Working a little bit into our single leg balance. So let's go back to the beginning. We'll lift in the right heel. We're going to shift all the weight into that left leg. When we tend to go into a balance, we do what's maybe known as a sassy hip, where we just kind of sag everything over there. You want to think about really lengthening out of that left leg. So the quadricep muscle and there is engaging, but make sure the knee isn't locked. And then shoot a little squeeze to that left glute. Draw the hands to the heart center and just see, could we lift the right knee up towards the chest? Now what I want you to focus on is how much can you flex this right knee? So could you keep on its own pulling that knee up towards the chest without your chest collapsing forward? So how much can you get your knee up to your chest? And we do this lying on the floor, right? But it's quite a challenge on one leg. And then slowly release the leg back down. So it'll be interesting to see how comfortable you feel on the other side. So lift the left heel, again, engage the right leg, the right glute, the stomach muscles. You're in mountain pose. And then just start to float the knee up. And we might go here, some of us may really be able to pull it up without compensating the rest of the form. So we should hopefully be able to pull our knee at least up to our hip height, right? This is a goal that we're trying to get to. But could you pull it higher and really feel the dynamic of that, pulling the knee up towards the chest? Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, slowly come down. And the balance is not necessarily the easiest, right? So you're gonna tap your right toe out to the side. I like to let the arms come out the side. Not that there's anything to really hold on to here, but it seems to counterbalance us a bit. So again, go back to the standing leg, engaging, and just see, could you float the toes off the floor? Now, if you want to make this bigger, we go into a star pose. The arms start to open up. It's almost like we're making ourselves a big X here. And the more we lift the leg, the more we lean over to the left. So that right leg's really lifting, and we're leaning over towards the left. Feel all the muscles in the leg, but also in the stomach and the back side really have to work. Take one more deep breath in, and as we exhale, slowly come back to mountain pose. Remember, the lift off and the landing are both important. So I step the leg out to the side. Reach out here, and then see, once we activate that right leg, we've got to activate the back of the legs, maybe start to tip. And notice, right, if you feel like you can tip more to one side than the other. Activate the standing leg, activate the stomach muscles, pull the shoulder blades down, tuck the chin in. There's a lot of things to remember. Always go back to our mountain pose. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out, and then slowly come back. All right, so we've gone forward, we've gone side, we're gonna go backwards. So you're gonna take your right toes and tap behind. All right, so remember with this is a lot about the base of our core, which are our glute muscles. Your glute muscles are part of your core, whole body right there. So draw the stomach muscles in, lengthen again into the left leg. Maybe bring the arms out to the side, and see, can you just float the toes off the floor without the chest coming forward yet? So this is a great motion. Can you balance on one leg and extend the hip back? Now, let's do a little bit more into Warrior 3. So you can bring your arms out. Maybe you lift your leg a little higher and lower the chest and bring it forward. This is a great Warrior 3. If you want to keep experimenting with it, right, you keep hinging forward, maybe open up the arms more like an aeroplane, try and square the hips and shoulders. Maybe you can get the arms to reach overhead. Remember, you can stay more at that kind of 45-degree angle and still be working at Warrior 3. Take another deep breath in and deep breath out. Remember, slowly come back up. Use the strength of the back of the leg to bring you back up. Good. One more. Step the left leg out. Shoulders down the back. Chest lifted, abs on. Squeeze that left leg to lift the leg. This is a great Warrior 3. You can stay right here. Maybe you dive forward just a bit, lift the leg a bit. Maybe we really take the dive, right, and open up. Arms off to the side. You can even keep the arms close to the heart center, or even focus on the hips trying to square through this whole thing. And then remember, the arms can come forward. You can be more at an angle. You don't have to be down that deep. But see, where can you go with this? Take another deep breath in and deep breath out. One more deep breath in, and as we exhale, slowly bring ourselves back up. Excellent, good. All right, let's come to the top of the mat. I'm gonna go into side view right here. So come to the top of the mat in mountain pose. Take a deep breath in, or reach up towards the sky. As we exhale, let's come into chair pose, so sinking the hips back. Then inhale, hands come to our shins, halfway lift. And as we exhale, fold over. We're gonna really bend the knees, get the hands on the floor, and come down to our hands and our knees. So if we need a little extra padding underneath the knees, right, we'll put them under that. We're gonna do a little bit of what we call spinal balance. So you're going to connect the shoulders, elbows, wrists on top of one another, and the hips over the knees. Pull the stomach muscles in, draw the shoulder blades down and away. From here, let's extend our right leg back out. Now the tendency is for that right hip to open up. So try and keep the right hip and left hip square. So that means you really have to activate the abdominal muscles, but also the glute muscles. Then can we float the opposite arm, thumb up towards the sky. The left arm reaches out in front. And we try and hold the balance. Press out of the right arm and feel the stomach muscles really helping here. Take another deep breath in. Deep breath out and slowly release back down. Hopefully you just kind of settle right back to all fours. Then the left leg extends up. Again, try to square the hips, draw the stomach muscles in, and then float the right arm out. And notice the difference. Do you feel like you're more balanced? Do you feel stronger on one side? Pull the shoulder blades down, press out of that left arm, so it's not about the left wrist. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out, and slowly release. So open up your knees a little bit wider, bring the hands forward, and we're going to sink back into a wider extended child's pose. So a deep flexion into the knees, settling the hips back towards the heels. Breathe in through the nose and back out. So we're going to work through a bunch of different variations here. It's going to work the best for your body. So as you come forward, bring the knees back into a parallel position. And you're in a kneeling plank, so you still got shoulders, elbows, wrists stacked, but now the knees are behind your hips. To find the best plank though, tuck your toes under, lift one knee and then the other knee, and see if you can really hold this position. So you've got shoulders, elbows, wrists stacked, chins tucked in, we're looking slightly forward on the floor. Then, if you're gonna go to a kneeling plank, you set the knees down right from there. And then we're gonna slowly come down, bend the elbows, and bring the body towards the mat. Inhale, the chest up, coming into a baby cobra. And then exhale, use the back of the arms to press ourselves back to extended child's pose. So we're gonna put that all together. We're gonna inhale, draw the body forward to a kneeling plank. Exhale, lower down to our kneeling push-up. Inhale into cobra. Now if you like, you can continue up into full cobra, and then exhale, return to extended child's pose. We're going to do that one more time. So inhale, draw the body forward. Exhale, lowering down. Inhale, opening up. And exhale, returning back. And then just stay here for a moment. All right. So the next movement is to go into downward facing dog. So we're going to plant the hands above shoulder distance, tuck the toes under, and lift the hips up. Now for many of us, our hamstrings and our calf muscles are very tight. So traditionally, right, the feet come in and we plant the feet down. That just might be a little too much. So you can keep the heels lifted, elevated. What's more important is that the head rests in between the arms, so the ears would touch the biceps. We're lengthening out of the arms, or we're lengthening out the spine. So if you feel like there's a lot of work coming into the upper body, bend your knees a bit and shift the weight back into the hips. So focus on lengthening the arms and spine first before we lengthen the legs. All right, and then maybe pedal one heel at a time. Try and lower one closer to the mat, lift the other. And start to feel, where is the most stretch happening? For many of us, we're going to feel our calf muscles, right? And even the base of the feet, really getting quite a bit of a stretch. And then again, maybe try to push both heels. And as we do this over time, and even throughout class, you start to notice that your range of motion gets bigger. Good. Now take a deep breath in. Let's come forward into our plank position. Good. So we're going to set the knees down on the floor, and you're going to kickstand the right foot out to the side. And keep your right hand underneath your right shoulder and open up. So your left arm is going to reach up towards the sky. So you're coming into a kneeling side plank position. All right, so it's really important that this is all stacked and you're engaging. From here, you might be able to lift the top leg. And then slowly release the foot, turn back to the center. Just go the other way. Kickstand the left foot out and then open up the right side of the body. And again, you may be able to lift the top leg. Make sure shoulder, elbow, wrists are stacked. And then set the foot down, turn back to the center. And if you want either downward facing dog or if you want extended child's pose, come back to extended child's pose. So whatever feels best right now. And you may be able to get your forehead down to the mat. Don't force it. If that feels good, you can rest the forehead down to the mat. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to come up and take a seat. So you can come taking a seat facing in front of the room. So we're going to work a little bit into some twists and then we'll bring ourselves down to the mat. So the legs are out nice and long. The first goal is to sit up as tall as we can. All right, so that means we've got to activate a lot of muscles in the front of the body to stretch the muscles in the back. So the stomach muscles have to activate. Pull the toes back towards the shins. Push the heels away. So we activate the shins and all the way up into the quads. And just as soon as we activate all those muscles in the front of the body, we should be able to feel that the spine can lengthen and is supported. Now you're going to bend the right knee and bring it in without losing what you just created, right? So we want to stay up nice and tall. So the foot can stay inside the leg, it can go outside the leg. It kind of depends on how you're going to hold your frame, right? If it's coming over to the outside and everything's shifting and it's just really tight, keep it inside the foot. Then you're going to reach your left arm up in the air and reach forward and see if you can hug your right thigh. And then your right hand's going to come behind you, plant the hand and gently press into it. But as you press the hand down, think of lengthening the spine up. So engaging the abdominal muscles. And then maybe you can start to create a rotation through the head, neck, and shoulders and feel it across the mid and upper back. Stay connected to the stomach. Keep breathing in, drawing in, and as we exhale, create the rotation. Take another deep breath in, and as we exhale, we'll just release that. So let the leg come up. You can kind of shake the leg out a bit. Reset the body, right? So everything's going to come up nice and tall, and then bend the left knee. Again, adjust where it needs to go. Try not to collapse the upper body, right? So we got to get it over there. All right, you got to make sure you can come back up. Right arm reaches up and out in front, and you give a nice hug to the left leg. Left hand comes behind, plant the left palm down, create space, so inhale, lengthen the spine, and as we exhale, rotate. This should feel good. We don't want any pain with this, so if we're experiencing some sort of pain, we may want to lighten up on the rotation. All right, now we know too, if rotating is not necessarily always the greatest, our bodies, so we want to go at it gently. But hopefully our spine can move in all the directions it's supposed to. Take another deep breath in and deep breath out. Find that opening. Again, kind of take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, slowly release. So draw the feet together, first coming into the inner thighs, like a butterfly. So what we're trying to do is literally match each toe together, all right, the ball mounts of the foot and the heels, all right? And one thing to do, glance down at your feet and at your arches. Do you have even arches, or do you maybe have one that's a little higher or one that's a little flatter than the other? That's really important. If it's hard to completely match up the feet, probably means that we have one foot that's either working a little bit harder than the other. Think about when you walk, do you maybe tend to drag one foot? Like even look at your heels. Do you have one heel that's maybe a little more calloused than the other? That will tell us a lot of times about our gait. So we're looking for even calluses right here. All right, so again, if this is a little too intense, bring the legs more out in front, right? If the hips are feeling really tight or if that's just too extreme for the knees. But don't forget about the upper body, right? Because it's really easy to get here and it's going to be hanging out. So think about engaging the stomach muscles and lengthening the spine, drawing the shoulders down, tucking the chin in. If you want, right, you could let your hands help to open up the hips a bit. If you wanted to maybe administer a little help, you could, one, try and open up your feet a little bit like a book. You could, two, lengthen the spine and maybe lean forward a bit. But don't compromise the spine, right? It's not about rounding the spine, it's about leaning, hinging from the hips. Right? Breathing in and breathing out. Just notice maybe that even millimeter or centimeter hinge forward makes a big difference into opening up the groin muscles. Let's take another deep breath in as we exhale, come back up. Now let's go a little bit more into the hamstrings and the inner thighs. So a lot of times what we want and what we need is a different thing, right? Sometimes we want the legs to open up really wide, right? Because in our mind that means that we're more flexible. But go to where it's a good stretch, right? Not a stretch where we're in agony. All right, so flex the feet, activate the muscles on top of the legs so we can get the hamstrings and the inner thighs to stretch. Scoop into the abdomen. See if you can rest your hands maybe just gently on the shins. Maybe, like we did with the butterfly, can you start to lean forward a little more? Maybe the hands can go closer towards the lower part of the shins or even the ankles. Some of us may be able to reach for the toes. Try not to yank on the toes, maybe just gently reach for them. And feel that, and now not only to the back of the legs with the inner thighs, but you may feel that running into the low back. Make sure we're drawing up into the stomach. Yeah, and if there's another version of this that you like maybe bringing the hands down, maybe some of us can start to fold a little deeper into it, go for that. And that may help, right? Some of us may have a little bit more of that flexibility. So to get deeper into the stretch, we need to bring the hands closer down to the floor. So generally a pretty tight region for a lot of us, the hamstrings and the adductors or the inner thigh. All the muscles around the base of the pelvis. And then slowly walk ourselves or bring ourselves back up. Good. So we're going to bring ourselves down onto our backs right here. So take a look at your feet. Think back to the beginning of class how we set up our feet for mountain pose. Toes are forward, heels are in alignment and parallel. So we're going to bring ourselves down to the mat and work into a bridge position. Now once you get down here, you might feel like I've got to get closer to my feet. So instead of moving the feet and losing that good mountain pose position, just start to kind of inchworm your body closer. And you're going to get as close to your heels as your knees say it's okay. Then draw the chin down towards the chest and make sure the back of the head is resting on the mat. And then let the arms come down to the sides, palms face up. So we open up the chest and the shoulders. Now watch what happens. Are you starting to kind of lean more of your weight into the outside of the feet or the inside? Are you keeping the hips, knees in alignment? And then equalness through your feet. So go back to the beginning of class, we were really talking about grounding through the 4 points of the feet. All right, now you can turn your palms back down. That may feel more comfortable with the bridge. So from here, we're going to take a deep breath in. As we exhale, we're going to scoop the abdomen muscles in first. Then press it to the feet and start to lift the hips up in the air. Coming into our bridge pose. Once we're up here, right, we want to think about elongating those thigh bones towards the knees. So we're opening up the top of the legs and the front of the pelvis. The back of the legs, the hamstrings, and the glutes are activating, and of course our stomach muscles are still engaged. The head, neck, and shoulders and arms should really not have much more than just the weight, right, on there. We're not pressing into them. And then check back in. Do your feet want to kind of turn out? Do your knees want to turn out? Or can you really keep the hips and the knees in alignment? And then you want to return to the breath. Obviously, we're breathing in through the nose and back out. And again, breaths. Really feel that activation of the back side of the body and the lengthening of the front side of the body. And again, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. This next time, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, try to lower down one vertebrae at a time. That means a lot of core engagement. We're trying to send the hips towards the heels to slowly roll the spine down, and then finally set the hips back down, and the legs should be happy with that. Coming into a figure 4 stretch. Flex your right foot, cross it over the center of the left thigh. Take your right hand and just gently rest it on your right inner thigh. So that's our first option, right? We can stay here, we can open up the hip. If we'd like a little more, you're going to take both hands and see if you can draw the left knee up and the hands come to the back of the left hamstring. Notice your right elbow kind of rests into that right inner thigh, so it helps to open up the hips more. And then just take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. And this is one of these stretches where we might really love it and we might not really love it, right? But probably it's pretty needed, right? So the hip joints right there are really trying to open up the muscles all around the hip. I'm going to take another deep breath in. And as we exhale, just slowly release the left foot back down. Now extend the right leg straight up in the air. And point and flex the left foot. And you're not holding on to the leg, you're just holding the leg up in the air on its own. And then flex through the foot. Slide the hands down the back of the right leg, maybe to the hamstring, maybe we can go a little lower. But what we're looking for is the leg to stay long. So if you're trying to pull your leg in, but your knee bends, you're not going to get the same stretch. So think about just how long can you make the leg, and then maybe encourage it in a bit more. And again, some of us may have that flexibility to be able to go out deeper. Maybe we could even reach for the big toe. Kind of depends. Now, if you'd like even more, try and lengthen out the left leg down the floor. And that's going to increase that stretch. You're also going to get a stretch on the top of the hip flexor of the left leg. If you'd like, you could draw your nose up towards your knee. Kind of climb the leg a bit. And then relax the head, neck, and shoulders. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then bend your right knee. Now pull the right knee into the chest. So remember when we did this standing on one leg? It's a lot easier right here to drop the knee in. And that's a deep flexion of the hip. Then let the knees bend and both feet come back down to the floor. Flex the left foot for figure 4. Cross it over the center of the right thigh. Left hand gently opens up the left knee. And again, try to relax through the upper body, through the hips. And breathe in and breathe out. If you want to go for that second level, hands clasped behind the right thigh. And we draw the knee in. Maybe that left elbow gently presses into the left inner thigh to create some more opening for the hip. And then continue to breathe in through the nose and back out. Slowly let the right foot find the floor as we extend the left leg up in the air. Again, all on its own, and just move through the foot. Point and flex. Really important, this is one thing we can do every day, is work on the mobility of our ankles. Can we do a nice point? Can we do a nice flex? And they should feel all the muscles around the ankle having to work. And then flex through the foot. You're lengthening. Maybe the hands come behind the hamstring and we draw it in. Maybe they come a little bit lower, or even able to grab on here. And then if you want, straighten out the right leg. That's an option. We don't have to necessarily do that. Maybe we want to draw the nose towards the knee, so we flex the spine a bit, engage the abdominal muscles, draw the chin towards the chest, And then again, make sure the head comes back down. You relax the upper body and continue to lengthen the left leg. Take another deep breath in and deep breath out. Really enjoy that. Final breath in here and back out. And then draw that left knee into the chest. So deeper flexion of the hip and knee. No pressure on those joints, we're just working with our own body weight. And then slide the right foot in and let the left knee come down. Final motion, just a little bit more twisting through the lower body. So heel toe your feet a little bit wider towards the edges of the mat. Open up the arm like a T. Let both knees fall to the right. And then maybe pick up your head and look down the left. Engage the abdominal muscles, draw the knees back to the center, rotate over to the left and look down the right. And then take a deep breath in as you exhale, draw back to the center, heel toe the feet towards one another, let the arms come down by the sides. Now, for the final relaxation or your shavasana, you may like to keep the knees bent, right? Maybe even let them rock towards one another. That may feel best for the low back and for the hips. If you know it feels all right, it is a nice feeling to just extend the legs out. Maybe even let the legs open up a bit. Let the pelvis relax. And then create space. Draw the arms down by the sides. Draw the chin down towards the chest. And if you feel like when your head's on the floor, that you're almost, it's hard not to bring the chin down, we might need a little pillow or something to elevate the head up. So even just a little sweatshirt or something we put underneath there. Or we can always lie on our side or come to a seated position. So we want to close the eyes and start to relax the muscles all around the face. Take a deep breath in through the nose, feel the rise of the belly. And as we breathe back out through the nose, feel it draw down. So connect that gentle movement of the breath, but also start to create an equalness of breath. So as we breathe in, maybe we're counting to about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and as we breathe out, we count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the idea is to create an equalness both on the inhale and the exhale, but also to increase the duration. So to slow the rhythm of our body down, we want to start to elongate the breath. So take a few moments to connect with our breath, with the duration, with the movement, with the feeling of it. And just take a few moments to release. Notice how the breath is flowing. Notice how the body is feeling. Feeling we're able to really slow down everything. And then we'll bend the knees and slide the feet back in. Maybe you want to take the arms out to the side and stretch out, or even overhead and lengthen. Even arch a little back a little bit if that feels okay. And then keep the right arm extended overhead so that when you roll to your right side, the arm arm supports the head, coming into that fetal position. So we want to get up to a seated position with support. So then the left hand comes in front to help press ourselves up. So we use the upper body to come into a seated position. And crossing the legs in front. Sitting up nice and tall, relax the shoulders down and away from the ears, draw the chin down and in. Maybe start to blink the eyes back open. We'll take a final breath together. Breathe in through the nose, reaching up, and as we exhale, draw the hands to the heart center. And as always, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming. Have a wonderful afternoon.